The air hangs heavy in the Missouri penitentiary, thick with anticipation and dread. Time is a ruthless warden, its passage marked by the slow, agonizing tick of the clock. For Marcellus Williams, an inmate staring down an irreversible sentence, each tick is a hammer blow to the soul. His execution date, Tuesday. His crime, the brutal 1998 murder of Lisha Gayle, a respected St. Louis journalist. His last hope, clemency, a plea for mercy denied by Governor Mike Parson. The countdown continues, a stark reminder of the human cost of justice, flawed or otherwise. Williams' case is a lightning rod, igniting fierce debate about capital punishment and the potential for irreversible error. His supporters, a chorus of legal experts and human rights advocates, cry foul, pointing to a case riddled with inconsistencies and the specter of racial bias. Their pleas fall on deaf ears, lost in the corridors of power. The wheels of justice, once set in motion, are a force seemingly beyond human intervention. As Tuesday looms, the world watches, holding its breath, waiting to see if mercy will triumph over judgment. August 11, 1998. A day scorched into the annals of St. Louis history. Lisha Gayle, a beacon of journalistic integrity, is found murdered in her home, her life brutally extinguished. The community reels, demanding answers, demanding justice. The investigation is swift, the pressure immense. Enter Marcellus Williams, a man already familiar with the criminal justice system, caught in the crosshairs of suspicion. The prosecution paints a damning picture. Williams, motivated by robbery, enters Gayle's home, a place considered a sanctuary in a city grappling with rising crime. A struggle ensues, culminating in a frenzied attack, Gayle suffering over 40 stab wounds. The evidence, circumstantial at best, points towards Williams. Fingerprints at the scene, a possible murder weapon linked to him, and witness testimony weave a narrative of guilt. The jury, swayed by the prosecution's narrative and the undeniable horror of the crime, delivers a guilty verdict. Williams is sentenced to death, his fate sealed. But doubt lingers. Whispers of inconsistencies in the investigation, of a rush to judgment, begin to circulate. The defense raises concerns, highlighting the lack of DNA evidence directly linking Williams to the crime scene. Their pleas fall on deaf ears, drowned out by the resounding clang of the prison gates as they slam shut on Williams' freedom. His journey from accused to condemned is complete, but the story, far from over, takes on a life of its own. From his first day in prison, Marcellus Williams has maintained his innocence, a solitary voice echoing in the cold, unforgiving belly of the correctional system. His claims, initially dismissed as the desperate pleas of a condemned man, gain traction with each passing year. New evidence emerges, casting a long shadow over the prosecution's case. The narrative, once seemingly ironclad, begins to unravel. Williams's legal team, spearheaded by the Innocence Project, uncovers a series of troubling discrepancies. The fingerprint evidence, once a cornerstone of the prosecution's case, crumbles under scrutiny. The prints, found on a trash bag at the crime scene, are later revealed to belong to another individual, someone with a criminal history eerily similar to the crime Williams is accused of. The revelation sends shockwaves through the legal community, raising the specter of a miscarriage of justice. Further investigation reveals that the alleged murder weapon, a knife supposedly belonging to Williams, lacks any trace of Gayle's DNA. How can this be, the defense argues, if Williams is indeed the perpetrator? The prosecution, faced with mounting evidence undermining their case, remains steadfast in their belief of Williams' guilt. The battle lines are drawn, a legal tug-of-war with Williams' life hanging precariously in the balance. As the years turn into decades, the cracks in the prosecution's case widen, revealing a disturbing glimpse into the potential fallibility of the justice system. The witness testimony, once seemingly damning, is called into question. Witnesses, recanting their earlier statements, claim they were coerced by police, pressured to identify Williams as the perpetrator. Their stories, shrouded in fear and uncertainty, add another layer of complexity to an already convoluted case. The specter of racial bias rears its ugly head, casting a long shadow over the proceedings. The jury selection process, a cornerstone of a fair trial, comes under intense scrutiny. The defense argues that the prosecution, intentionally or otherwise, employed tactics designed to exclude potential jurors based on race. The result, a jury composed predominantly of white individuals, a stark contrast to the demographics of the community where the crime took place. The prosecution's case, once a seemingly impenetrable fortress of evidence and testimony, crumbles under the weight of its own contradictions. The narrative of a clear-cut case of guilt gives way to a murkier picture, one where reasonable doubt festers and grows. The question is no longer whether Williams is guilty, but whether a system designed to uphold justice can rectify its own mistakes, even when the stakes are life and death.